Hello, dear viewer and listener, and welcome to ABW Preview. Just me on my own today because I'm so badly organised. Sad times. Don't look at my hair; it's an absolute mess. I look dishevelled and not in the good way. All right, let's get on with the show. It's the preview show for Benfica v Arsenal in the Europa League. It's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, and it's going to be held in Rome. The away leg was going to be in Greece, but that could change at a moment's notice. Who really knows? So where can you see the game? UK and Ireland, BT Sport. Australia, Optus Sport. New Zealand, this is a new one for me. Sky Sports 7, is that right? And beIN Sports. Or maybe it's called Sky Sports 7 beIN Sports. There was no comma between the two of those. So I'm assuming they're two different channels. In Canada, it's the same old DAZN. And in the US of A, it's CBS All Access. And today's mystery country, the Philippines. Again, beIN Sports Connect. Right. I thought we'd played Benfica quite a few times. Turns out we haven't. We've only played them twice. We played them on the 23rd of October 1991 when I was a wee lad. God, how old was I then? I just had my 21st birthday. Glorious. We drew 1-1. Azias, a Brazilian striker, scored in the 15th minute, and then super Kevin Campbell scored 2 minutes later. Game ended 1-1. The return leg, 6th of November 1991. Arsenal 1, Benfica 3. I vaguely remember these games. Didn't really expect much from these. We played in the round before and we'd scored 6 goals against someone. Might have been Rapid Vienna. If I had it to hand, I would go and have a look. But we smashed 6 past someone. I think Alan Smith might have got 4 goals then, or maybe 3. So in the return leg, Colin Pates, part-time centre-back, we got from either Chelsea or Charlton at the time. Very, didn't play many games for Arsenal. He scored in the 20th minute. That Azias bloke scored again in the 36th minute. And then it went to extra time. And you think, Arsenal at home, they're away. We're on a bit of a roll. Half-decent form in the league. No. In extra time, Vasily Kulkov scored after 100 minutes, and then Azias scored again in the 107th minute. 3 goals in 2 games against Arsenal. Horrible man. Anyway, it ended. We were out. Carried on with the league. Wasn't an overly great season. In 1995, Azias signed for Coventry City for £500,000, and he was the first Brazilian to play in the Premier League, which I didn't realise. I thought it was Mirandinha of Newcastle, but that might have been in the Division 1 days. Anyway, he only played 14 games for Coventry. He fell out with Gordon Strachan, and he wouldn't let him leave. So he went on a kind of strike, did nothing, scored 2 goals. I think I read that it was Chelsea and Middlesbrough he scored against. We share a few players. Off the top of my head, Stefan Schwartz. I think he went there after he played for us. Glenn Helder, we loaned to Benfica. And the fuzzy-haired tit that is David Luiz started his career there in Europe after they bought him from some Brazilian club. I'm not sure which one. Arsenal are 10th in the Premier League. Oh, this is meaningless. Apart from the next bit, Benfica are 4th in their league. I think they're 15 points behind the leaders. They've only lost 3 games in the league all season, but I was looking at their recent league form. They've won 1, they've drawn 4, and they've lost 1 of the last 6 league games. They're not exactly in scintillating form. As both teams are away for the Europa League, for both legs, I'm going to use the away form as some kind of measuring stick to see how they are away from home. So a little bit of information there. Benfica played 1 Champions League qualifier and they lost 2-1 to PAOK from Greece, who aren't a very good team. So that gives you an example of how Benfica are not really the Benfica of old. Our last 3 away games in the Europa League, because I'm going by the group games here, we played 3, we won 3, we scored 9, we conceded 3. Bloody good. Benfica's last 3 away games in the Europa League, which is all from the group stage before, played 3, they won 1, they drew 2, they lost none, they scored 8, and they conceded 6. So I thought I'd have a little delve at that and see how they got on in the Europa League. They played Rangers in Scotland twice in the group stage. They drew 3-3 at Ibrox, and they drew 2-2 at home. I mean, if you're conceding 5 goals against a team like Rangers, who aren't very good, they've done nothing in Europe. The only reason they're running away with the Scottish League is because Celtic are on their arse. So that's quite interesting. They've conceded 5 goals against Rangers, who aren't really a good team. Anyway, I was looking in their group. They scored 18 goals in their group games. You think, hold on, they're good at scoring goals. 8 of those were against Lech Poznan, doing the Poznan. So they're rubbish. So nearly half of their goals came against one team. I was having a look at some of their players. Their top scorer is 31-year-old midfielder Pizzi. It says there he plays in an attacking midfield role or can play out wide. He's got 6 goals in 6 games. And their other top goal scorer is 21-year-old Uruguayan striker Darwin Núñez, who has 5 goals in 5 games. They bought him in September for 22 million quid. And they have 5 players on 1 goals each. So looking at it, unless it's going to be Pizzi or Núñez scoring, then no one else is really going to score, are they? I think we can do this. I was looking at their formation as well. I'm not a formation person, so I had to goggle part of this. This season, they have mostly played a 4-1-3-2. So that is, they played a back 4 for nearly every single game that I saw. 1 holding midfielder, defensive midfielder, 3 in the middle, and then 2 up front. Now, I'd imagine that Núñez is going to be one of those. And they didn't make it clear whether they had someone playing off him or playing next to him. Anyway, it also said in recent games they've moved to a 4-4-2-6-6. Now, I have no idea what that meant. So I asked the Google, and the Google said it's basically 2 holding midfielders. So does that imply they're playing a little bit defensive? I don't know. Well, have a look at them. Look at them. What a charming bunch of young men they are. Apart from the one standing next to the goalkeeper, he looks quite haggard. He looks like he's had a hard life. But the rest of them, they're all hair gel and haircuts. And no one's got their stuff tucked in. So then I thought, what would be my formation? Well, my formation, Matt Ryan, I think he's come in and he's going to be the Europa League goalkeeper because he is a decent goalkeeper. Bellerin at right back. We've got no one else who can play right back apart from Cedric. And as Tierney is back training, and I was watching Charles Watts today, and Charles said that Tierney probably isn't going to play today, and that he will probably be back for the weekend against Man City. He was debating what was the most important game for us, whether it was this or Man City. For me, it has to be the Europa League game because Man City is it 17 straight wins they've got. Unbelievable. It doesn't matter if we beat Man City. Man City are going to win the league. And if we lose to Man City, we're helping them win the league, which means we're going to deny any other team like Man United or Liverpool winning the league. So I think that's a good thing. Centre-backs, Gabriel and Holding. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play Gabriel, that he might play Luiz or someone like that. But I think it's very important to make sure we don't concede any goals. Cedric at left-back, because Cedric has been fantastic. And when Tierney is back, I'd love to see Cedric playing right-back. Bellerin's been half decent this season. He's had some good games, some good moments. I'm not a Bellerin hater. Holding at the back, partnering Gabriel is what I'd have, but I think that Arteta's going to go for Luiz with him. And then the midfield, not really much choice here. Partey's out injured. He's not going to be back for quite a while yet with a hamstring injury. So El Neni out of favour at the moment. So who else are we going to play? Ceballos has played really well. Xhaka has been playing really well lately. The only other question is it going to be Smith Rowe or is it going to be Odegaard? Well, Smith Rowe needs a bit of a rest. So it could be either of them. I don't really think it makes much difference other than Odegaard didn't come here to play games from a substitute, did he? No, he didn't. That's a fact. Well, it's not a fact. I just made it up, but it could be a fact. So I think Odegaard will play. He's looked all right when he's played, but he needs some time. Needs to play some games. Needs to start some games. So this could be why he was brought in. Now up front, you can't really drop Aubameyang after he scored a hat trick, but I think that's what he will do because Arteta does silly things like that, and it may be better to rest him after scoring a hat trick, that's madness. How can people be rested after a hat trick? But I just got the feeling that Lacazette is going to play. Martinelli on the wide right, Pepe wide left, with those two swapping positions whenever they want. So I do think it's important that you've got to rest some of these players. So resting Aubameyang, it's crazy, but I'm doing it. I don't know if Arteta's going to watch this. If you're watching this, Arteta, you don't have to do what I say. You probably know best. And so I'm going to rest all of the usual front three. I just hope Willian is nowhere near this side. Did Willian play for Benfica? I know they had loads of Brazilians there. I should have looked that up beforehand, shouldn't I? So it's going to be, for me, Lacazette, Martinelli and Pepe out front. This team, Benfica, they're not very good. Look at them. They're too smiley, too much hair gel, tight shorts, shiny boots. I don't know if you have shiny boots, do you? So I'm not overly worried about them. I think we beat them. They're not a great team. They're not having a great time in the league. And so my prediction for the game, I think we're going to score goals. If you look at the Rangers game, you see that they conceded 5 goals with Rangers, who are rubbish in European football, not in domestic football, because they're very, very good. I'm going to say, I think we've had some decent results in Rome. I think that's going to have a lot to do with it. So I'm going to go, we're going to beat them 4-1. And in the return leg, we're also going to beat them 4-1. Both times. We're going to score lots of goals against them because I don't rate Benfica. So there you go. Preview show, all on my own. I think it went quite well. How did it go, Betty? Betty quite liked it too. So tonight it is going to be the live podcast, unless them lot decide they don't want to do a live one, but I'm sure they will do. It's going to be me and Carl, Ellis and Josh, 8 p.m. on tonight, Wednesday, because I was ill yesterday. Is it Wednesday today? It is Wednesday. I lost a complete day. That's terrible. Yeah, so all 4 of us tonight live, 8 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. We've had a few people been watching on Facebook. Thank you very much if you have been. And so we will be live there at 8 o'clock. Saying that, Josh probably needs a poo, and so it'll probably be 10 past 8, and Ellis will probably be late because he's busy ruining dinner. But hopefully it will all go to plan. We will see you tonight at 8 o'clock. Thank you very much. Goodbye.